A Mk1 Escort bonnet here. Here's a Mk1 Escort boot lid with the ducktail spoiler moulded in. Got the front bib spoiler. It's got a really nice Ford badge in it as well. Yeah, I really like that. I'm actually going to be purchasing one of these panels. Obviously, I'd love to take all three of them home if I could afford it. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes, and today I'm going to be revealing the new carbon fibre piece that I recently bought for Esther, my ST170 powered Mk1 Escort. To do that, I need to head over to my other garage where she's stored. So I'm going to go and get Maud, my Mordor Mk2 Escort, out of the garage here at home and hit the road. It's sunny today, but it's absolutely freezing, so it's beanie hat and shades weather. Give you a bit of an update on my DIY garage door. I've now nearly nailed all the planks to it, just need to put a few more down there. I've actually still got a pallet in my back garden, so just need to cut that up and then I can finish the job. One thing I did realise recently, now as I've mentioned before, the two sizes of planks that I had, the longer ones were slightly too short for this door and the shorter ones were slightly too short for this door. And I thought I would just put them in the centre of the door. And then I realised that basically there was a gap here, so in theory someone could sort of use a crowbar to break in maybe. So then I went out and bought loads of thin strips of wood in various sizes to take up the gaps. So yeah, I think that's a bit more secure now. And once I have nailed the last few planks to the door, I'm going to give both doors another coat of black paint. I have also now got my mirror hanging up so that I can see the security post from the driver's seat, which should stop me from crashing into the security post like I did with Esther in the other garage. I'm actually going to see if I can pick up another one of those mirrors today to put in Esther's garage. So first stop, tool station. Right, so I've made it around the garage and I've already got Esther out. Now before I show you the new carbon fibre, I've got a bit of a confession to make. When I went down to see the guys at TUBBIES Custom Composites to check out their carbon fibre panels and to check out Garry's TVR based fiberglass shelled Mk1 Escort, I said I was going to be buying one of three carbon fibre panels. The carbon fibre bonnet, the carbon fibre boot lid with the ducktail moulded in, and the carbon fibre front bib spoiler. Well, I told a bit of a lie, because I did actually buy all three pieces. So there we have it, Esther's new boot lid in carbon fibre with the ducktail spoiler moulded in. Ridiculously big spoiler, and I know that the anoraks are going to hate it, but I absolutely love how it looks. And round the front we've got the carbon fibre bonnet and also the carbon fibre front bib spoiler. Now the bib spoiler isn't actually screwed on yet, it's just being held on with some number plate tape, and there's some masking tape there with a line on it just where I was like roughly getting it aligned. And I have actually started to bend the brackets on the back, so I'm almost ready to drill some holes and put some riv nuts in the front panel so that can be attached permanently. Yeah, absolutely love how aggressive it makes the front look now. Really love the fact that the guys have put that Ford badge on there as well. And yeah, the front bib spoiler and the bonnet now tie in nicely with the carbon fibre bumpers that I already had, although I do need to get those lacquered now to match the other pieces. Now I haven't got the bonnet aligned perfectly yet, I just aligned it enough so that it would actually close. Just open it up. Now this is a full carbon fibre bonnet The internal frame is also made of carbon fibre. Some of the ones on the market just have like a fiberglass inner frame. And the great thing about the TUBBIES custom composites panels is they actually mould the interior frame from a genuine Ford bonnet as well. So it sort of still looks like a Ford bonnet. Now, in terms of alignment, this side of the bonnet does need to come forward slightly, and it's actually already on the furthest point of its adjustment. So to get it to fit a bit better, I will need to oval out the hole on the hinge this side. In fact, both of those holes, and then I'll be able to bring the bonnet a bit forward. But I'm not going to do that because I've actually ordered some lightweight alloy bonnet hinges. So when I get those, I'll fit those, and then I'll mess about with getting the bonnet perfectly aligned. Now, I did have one small issue with this bonnet, which is completely my own fault. I didn't realise that these bonnet hinges were a bit seized. Now, it wasn't a problem when I had the fiberglass bonnet, which is a lot heavier than this carbon fibre one. There was enough weight that it didn't matter that the hinges were a bit seized. But when I fitted this carbon fibre bonnet, it actually stayed up on its own without the bonnet prop because the hinges were seized. And then what happened was, when I was lifting the bonnet up and down while I was aligning it, the glue actually came away here where the internal frame is attached to the outside skin. So yeah, it's definitely something to think about if you're going to be fitting a carbon fibre bonnet to your car. To make sure that your hinges are nicely lubed up. As I say, there's not enough weight in a carbon fibre bonnet to overcome any stiffness in your hinges if they are a bit seized like mine were. Now, I have now repaired it. It's absolutely fine. I basically bought the exact same glue that the guys at TUBBIES Custom Composites use to make these bonnets. And yeah, I sort of keyed it up as best as I could and put a load of this glue in there, and it's set and it's all fine now that I've put a bit of WD-40 on the hinges. Yeah, you can see here how the bonnet needs to come forward a little bit more so that it's nice and flush there. But on this side, it's pretty much there. This needs to go down a bit. I have been sort of modifying the rubbers that sit below there just to get it to sit a bit lower, but yeah, I'm going to finalize the alignment, as I say, when I get my lightweight alloy hinges. Now, these composite panels never fit as good as a genuine Ford metal panel would, but yeah, I'm really happy with how these panels fit. You know, once I've finalized the alignment, they are going to look pretty much spot on. So yeah, I'm really happy. Now, obviously these panels are never going to be perfectly flat like a painted one would be. Some people do paint these carbon panels to make them look a bit better, but I really like to leave the weave showing. Now, obviously at some point I am going to need to cut a hole both sides in the bonnet so that I can put my aero catches. I'm not going to do that yet. That's definitely something I'm not looking forward to doing, but I'm looking forward to getting it done. And I think it'd be really cool if I get my aero catches colour coded Olympic blue, just to tie in with the colour scheme of the car. But one thing I will say though, it's really cool that if you didn't want to run bonnet pins or aero catches, the guys at TUBBIES Custom Composites have actually put riv nuts in place for the rubber adjusters and also for the catch that sort of hooks onto there. There isn't any riv nuts for the spring, admittedly, which goes down onto there, but that's something that you could easily do yourself, and then you can ensure that you get it in the right place to line up with your slam panel. But yeah, it is ridiculously lightweight. I was actually surprised how light it is compared to the fiberglass one that I had fitted before. Although I will say, with my fiberglass one, I had to do a lot of filler work around this area. It was really sort of sunk in there. Yeah, I spent days and days getting the shape right before I could actually send it off for paint. And then the guy that done the paint work on the Mark 1 actually spent days and days blocking it, primering it, blocking it, primering it to get it to look as good as it does. I must say my fiberglass bonnet looks a lot better than any other one I've seen, as do my fiberglass front wings. But yeah, these composite panels do take a lot of work if you want them to look perfect. So let's come around the back and have a better look at Esther's new boot lid. I haven't got the lock fitted yet. I actually need to bore out this hole a little bit so that I can fit the lock, but I'd much rather the hole be too small than too big. So yeah, that's something I need to do, but I've got the latch in there, and the square hole where this slips into was also slightly small, and I just filed it out. But again, I'd rather it was too small and I'd have to file it out rather than it be too big. Now, for the alignment of this boot lid, I did have to oval the holes on this driver's side hinge just to bring the boot backwards a bit to make it fit. And I have actually now ordered some lightweight alloy boot hinges as well, so I kind of regret adjusting the holes on these hinges because I probably could have sold these on, but now they've been butchered, doubt anyone would want to buy them. But yeah, on this side I was able to adjust it within the adjustment that's already on the hinges. Now again, it's never going to fit like a metal original Ford bonnet does, but it shuts. It's not too bad, the shuts are okay. And again, once I get my lightweight alloy boot hinges, I can dial in the alignment perfectly. And I'm also going to be fitting some aero catches to the boot lid. They'll be around here probably, which I'm obviously not going to do until I finalise the alignment. And I think the aero catches will actually end up making it fit better. You can see that this corner here could do with being in slightly, and when the aero catches are there, that will pull that in and it will look even better than it does now. And again, the inner frame of this carbon fibre boot lid all looks like a Ford one would, rather than just having a generic frame with a cross like some of the aftermarket composite panels have. One other thing I noticed with this boot lid is that it wasn't heavy enough for the tension of the tension rods. Now the tension rods, they go from one hinge over to the other side, and obviously from that hinge it comes over to this side, and the rod basically pokes into one of these 3 slits. Now it was in the back one, which I believe is the weakest in terms of tension, and what I did, I put a bit of rag here to protect the paint, and I levered it out of that slot, and then it just pinged up, and it's now just sitting up there, basically leaning against that sort of corner there in the parcel shelf area. Now I will keep an eye on it over time, just in case it starts sort of denting that area, but because it's on a corner, I think it'll be fine and it's strong enough. But now that the rod is up there rather than in one of these slots, it means that there is, you know, tension, so that the boot lid opens up okay, but it's not overly stiff. So yeah, overall I'm over the moon with these carbon fibre pieces. It's always been a dream of mine to put a carbon fibre boot and bonnet on Esther, and even though my savings have taken a bit of a hit for me to be able to afford them, you know, I'm really glad that I purchased them. If you're looking for any carbon fibre panels for your Mk1 Escort or for your Classic Mini, because TUBBIES Custom Composites also do Classic Mini parts, definitely check out TUBBIES Custom Composites. I'll leave a link to their Facebook page in the description of this video, where you can see what they're getting up to in terms of making these carbon fibre pieces. And I'll also leave Gary Ball's phone number in the description as well. Just get in touch with him if you need any carbon fibre. Another new addition to Esther is this vintage style number plate. It's a proper pressed aluminium one. Absolutely love the look of that. Now obviously I do have one for the front as well, but I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do in terms of the number plate for the front of Esther. When I had the fiberglass bonnet fitted, I actually had a sticker on the bonnet here for the number plate. Now I may do that again, but I'm thinking that I might actually get a small sticker put on the front bib spoiler instead. If I do decide to do that, I'll just see if I get any bother from our friends in the constabulary, and if I do end up getting fined, I'll have to rethink it and maybe put a proper sized number plate here, just hanging down like that. But yeah, I do think it will look really cool with a small plate on the bib spoiler. But yeah, I'll make my mind up on the front plate when I actually get her on the road. So yeah, do let me know what you reckon of my new carbon fibre parts. Cue the anoraks and the haters in the comments. I know I'm probably going to get a load of stick, but I really like them, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Now I do also have a set of the vintage pressed aluminium plates for Maud. So while I'm around the garage, I'm going to quickly fit Maud's new number plates. And I've got all those vintage number plates from a company called number1plates.com, and I'll leave a link to their website in the description of this video. Now, I wouldn't recommend you removing the old number plate tape in such a crude way on a car that you actually care about, but for Maud, I don't mind. Just degrease the area, although this degreaser has nearly run out. The tape I use is this number plate tape from Halfords. The brand is Harris, and yeah, it's really good stuff. I've never had a number plate fall off. Shouldn't have said that. Now, I put 2 strips because obviously this isn't flat because it's 3D, but I hope it sticks. It's well on there. That looks so much better, especially on a matte black and silver car like this. Looks pucker. Let's get the back one done. A little bit of rust there, might as well deal with it while the plate's out of the way. A bit of etch. Just let that dry for a minute. I'm right on cue. My beautiful girlfriend Kat has arrived and she's brought me a Costa coffee. Thank you, love you.
Love you too.
Rocking the burgundy MH beanie hat, which looks so good with a burgundy coat. Oh, we've got some cake as well. Yeah, just having a look at this mirror in Esther's garage. And because this is like an up and over door, it's not going to work quite as easily as it does in Maud's garage. I've bent the bracket a bit straight and I might be able to get it to work somehow like that, which will then mean the mirror will be like that, or like that, so this visor bit's out of the way, and then it might clear. But yeah, I'm going to worry about that another day. Worst comes to worst, I could probably take this domed mirror out of its casing, or maybe shave this visor off and just stick it to the wall here. Because it's convex, it should still allow me to see the security post. So I'll get it to work somehow. But yeah, that'll have to wait for another day. Primer's sort of semi-dry now. Closest thing I could find in my garage to black is this Volvo dark grey. And most of it will be covered up by the plate anyway, so it should be alright. That's alright, that's very dark grey, that'd be sweet. While we're waiting for the paint to dry, it's cake time. And there she is with a vintage plate on the back as well. Looks absolutely pucker. What do you think? Yeah, really, really happy with the vintage plates on Maud. Should have done it ages ago. Now it is absolutely freezing, so it's time for me to pack up, and then me and Kat are going to make our way home. Do let me know in the comments what you think of the new vintage plates fitted to both the cars, and also let me know what you reckon of Esther's new carbon fibre. Positive and negative comments, very welcome. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to be up to next in terms of messing about with my cars, but I'll definitely let you know in a future video. If you thought this video was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe to keep up to date with all my future uploads, and check the links in the description to my social media and my website. I'll also leave my email address down there for anyone who wants to contact me. Also check the links in the description to TUBBIES custom composites, and definitely get in touch with the guys if you're after any carbon fibre for your car. But other than that, until next time, from me and my beautiful girlfriend Kat, thanks for watching.